Sure, Ken. I'll start out. Chris from Cougs fan. Can you tell me, you seem like you shrunk up your rotation on Saturday. Do you think that's more of what's to come, or do you see yourself, I guess, is that set?
Well, it's probably more to come in regards to keeping the rotation a little bit shorter, but there's some guys on the team that did not get in that game that have obviously helped us throughout the season. So I'm sure there'll come a time, even this weekend, maybe Utah game, maybe Colorado, maybe both, where those guys that did not play the other day will get in the game because they can play a part and they can help us out. There's no doubt about it.
And Ken, were you kind of surprised by the strategy employed by Oregon State? It seemed like they went to the following strategy relatively early in the game when they could have played back and maybe played for a shot.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to, sitting in my seat, it's hard to second guess a coach because I know I get second guessed all the time, and that kind of comes with the territory. But I'm not in Oregon's practices every day. I'm not in their team meetings. I'm not in their, pregame shoot-arounds. So what Oregon State did, I think Craig Robinson's a very, very good coach, and he's a very good, in regards to strategies, he's done a great job. So I would guess he did what he thought was the right thing to do.
And, obviously they had a target. It was, Hackett Capers Day. I think he made 6 of 8 down the stretch. How did he feel after the game? And did you say anything specifically to him after the game regarding those free throws?
I said, way to shoot, way to step up as a senior and make your free throws. Marcus is a solid free throw shooter, and it's hard in those situations as coaches. You go by the stats and you try to pick out the guy that you think might not be able to step up and make the free throw. But I think there's always something to be said for a senior at that time, just feeling like, hey, I've been here before and I'm going to make these. And I felt like that's the attitude and the mentality that Marcus had at that time. He looked very confident to me as he walked down the court to that free throw line. And I thought he shot with a great amount of confidence, so I'm glad he made them.
Are there more questions?
I guess looking ahead to Utah, Colorado, Utah's had a pretty a rough stretch as of late. Colorado's another team that was picked, I think, tied for 10th in the conference in the preseason. What do you see looking ahead to these guys?
Big games for all three teams. We were all three picked, I think, 10, 11, and 12. And, whether you're playing right now, I guess, throw out Stanford and Cal and Washington and some of the teams that are up on top at this moment, whether you're playing them or somebody that you're battling for position with, and that would be Colorado, Utah, and us right now as far as the preseason ratings. Every game's big, and I'm sure they'll bring it, and I think we will too. When I say bring it, I mean bring it to the court and give it great effort to pull out a win.
And, how does it, I guess I want to say it eases you into your road trip for the season, but it's definitely not going to Stanford and Cal on the road for your first road trip. Is it a little less daunting that way to open on the road with these two guys?
I think anytime you go on the road, it's tough. Utah doesn't have a very impressive record at this moment, but their last 2 home games they won. And there's a feeling when you're at home that you've got an advantage, and when you go on the road, like we will be going, you've got to be clicking on all cylinders to pull out a win. Any win is a good win on the road.
Cool. Thank you. That's everything I have today.
Thanks.
And obviously the Watkins kid's pretty important for Utah. Can you talk a little bit about his game?
I know he's a good scorer. I've only seen a couple tapes so far, 2 games, and he's definitely a guy that hunts his shots and knows how to score. So we're going to have to do a good job on him.
Ken, is Michael Ladd gaining more confidence at this point? You just seemed more comfortable on Saturday.
Well, he should be. I thought he had a good game Saturday. He stepped in and right away gave us a boost off the bench, a boost of energy. He scored a few points right away, and I think that helped his confidence. And I thought all game he played with a high level of confidence, more like he was doing early in the season, those first few games before he hurt his thumb.
It seems like DJ Shelton's also starting to come along a little bit.
Yeah, DJ reminds me right now of how Charlie was last year. Charlie didn't get a lot of publicity because in the paint we had D'Angelo. And right now with the way Charlie's been producing and Brock Modem's production, DJ isn't really talked about a whole lot. But the minutes that he is receiving, he's been very efficient. And he's done a nice job for us on both ends of the court.
We might not get you later in the weekend. Can you just tell just a little overview on Colorado?
Boy, I don't know much about Colorado yet. I know they're well coached. In fact, ironically, I've coached against both these guys, Larry Kristowiak when he was at Montana and Tad Boyle when he was at Northern Colorado. At that time, I was at Portland State. So I have a lot of respect for both of these guys. They're good coaches, and I know Tad will have his team ready to go, just like he was able to do a great job last year in his first year getting that team to the semis of the NIT back in New York. And I don't know much about their personnel, but I know Tad's a great coach.